Welcome to the Wealth Genius Podcast, brought to you by the Expand Wealth Real Estate Fund. Expand your wealth by investing in apartment buildings. Go to expandwealthfund.com to book your info session. The Wealth Genius Podcast, strategies for multifamily real estate investing, mindset, community, success. The Wealth Genius Podcast with your host, the godfather of real estate, Alfonso Cuadra, who has expansive experience in business and massive success as a real estate investor. The Wealth Genius Podcast. Let's dive into today's episode.
Ready to go.
All
Ready
right.
to go.
Here we go.
One of the most memorable moments that I remember with you was Calgary 2022. And we had that boot camp, and we're having a few drinks.
Yep.
And your laugh was infectious. It was just like, I'm like, wow. Because I knew you from the couple of years before, but I always knew you to be serious.
Yeah.
You know. Okay. But then I discovered that there's like a different Gary. You know what I mean? Like it was it's like you were just like laughing so loud. I think that we have a picture. You're like like a belly laugh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I've enjoyed the time that we've had, and getting to know each other, and I'm glad you're on the show.
Yeah,
you're on the show.
Hey,
like,
this is
this
very
is the
cool.
big time.
Yeah, appreciate it.
I'm just joking.
Holy.
But I've seen everything you've done. One of the first things that I remember is that $272,000 24-unit building that you bought an agreement for sale.
Yep.
And I think that's like your landmark deal.
Yeah. Like when I tell people about that, they go crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you buy a 24-unit building for $280,000?
Yeah.
That's unreal. What, $12,000 a door?
I never forgot that story.
Yeah. And it came with seller financing of $250,000.
Yeah.
Like I tell them the first part and then the second part too.
Yeah.
So for $30,000 down, unreal.
Yeah.
That's been quite a journey. That was actually my first big multifamily deal. And I learned so much on that deal. Like it was, I had to.
And what were you doing before?
So my background is structural engineering and project management. Yeah. So I was working at a big firm doing engineering stuff and whatnot. I was living a comfortable life. But then actually a friend in 2010 suggested I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And from there, it just kind of changed. Mm-hmm. I wanted a different life and stuff like that. And the very first property that we bought after reading it was actually a small condo in BC.
Wow. Which
we still own.
Wow.
Like I flew in there one day to check it out, and I flew back out the same day. And actually with that condo, the value ended up going down first for the first 5 years. I thought, man, are we doing the right thing?
Well, you're like, oh, real estate's this big, amazing thing. And then all of a sudden the value went down.
Yeah, it went down. And then now it's actually up quite a bit.
Wow.
So it's helped us.
Yeah. So. I mean, it's similar to the story that a lot of people are experiencing now, right? Where, a lot of these pre-construction condos, they got into it thinking that, the property would go up in value, and it really didn't, which kind of like, strengthens the argument of multifamily, right?
I
love the idea that we're not worried about the value. We worried about the income. That's the focus of when multifamily. I think the only time you can lose is when you put yourself in a situation where you have to sell.
Right.
And that holding on to that condo, you didn't sell. Right,
exactly.
So you really didn't lose.
Right,
it lost value temporarily.
Right,
but you really, in the grand scheme of things, didn't lose.
Yeah,
and so as long as you're never in a position where you have to sell, because that's the worst time to sell something is when you have to.
Exactly.
And that's what multifamily does.
Right. Yeah, I mean, with multifamily, if I had to start over again, I'd go right into multifamily. Like no questions asked.
Yeah.
You know, like I live in Alberta, and when you can raise the rent $100 a month on a let's say a 60-unit building.
Yeah.
Well, the increased value is so huge. I mean, that's compelling in itself.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's over $1 million
Yeah.
when you know the value increase.
And you have control over that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Where like, the condo,
Yeah.
you have no control whether there's nothing if the value goes down, there's nothing you can do.
That's right. You know, like the prices are just based on what the next condo is selling for.
Yeah. And so this deal in Swan Hills was like, this is like you made it. Like, 24 units. Or what did you get yourself into?
Yeah, exactly. Well, okay. So when I bought that 24-unit building, it actually only came with 2 tenants.
What was happening in that building that it was not rent, like you 22 empty units?
Well, what I found out later, there was an elderly lady who actually owned the building, but her husband had passed away a couple of years before that. And so she was having trouble managing it, and her property manager was having difficulty finding renters. So she ended up supporting that building through her pension. So she was actually getting bled dry.
And why was she holding on to this building?
Well, I mean, it was a building that her husband had purchased, and he was really looking after things. I think in the end, she held on to it just because, her husband had owned it, type of thing. Wow. Right.
And then you structured an agreement for sale.
Yep. An agreement for sale on that. And, I mean, I had a really good team of lawyers and people behind me to help arrange all that.
Yeah.
And they set it up right. Okay. Like the seller had to get the right lawyer to, agree to the agreement for sale and things like that. And with a building that only had 2 tenants, you can't get financing because there's no income. Right? So the agreement for sale was the best solution for her.
Yeah. And so you did an agreement for sale, and then you completely changed the property.
Yeah, so we went in there and did a renovation, and we thought it was going to take maybe about 4 to 5 months to get it all done. Well, in the end, it actually took over a year. So things are a lot different in reality than what you think might happen. Like when we first started, everything looked good and whatnot, but I really had to take a leap of faith because I didn't really know who my contractor was going to be when we first started, where I was going to get all the money for financing and stuff like that. And it was really taking that leap and believing in yourself to make it happen.
Yeah.
There were some really difficult points going through the renovation.
What were some of the I mean, someone says, okay, you bought this property for $274,000.
Yep.
You're winning. There's no difficult point after that. What could go wrong?
Well, I mean, okay.
So what did go wrong?
Yeah. So the renovation costs were higher than what I anticipated. We had to find funding for it. The contractor was behind. So, and there's no income coming in. So, I had to figure out all that stuff with the contractor. Because it took longer than anticipated, I was getting bled dry.
Wow.
Until we started getting renters in there.
Yeah.
So that took about a year. After we completed the renovations on the inside, 3 months after, there was a water leak from the boiler system that leaked from the 3rd floor down to the 2nd, down to the 1st. I mean, it's just crazy, right? I mean, after we're all done, all of a sudden we're leaking and having to fix that again.
Wow. And now you have apartment buildings. This is all you do. You do this full time.
Yep.
And not only that, you're an investor focused realtor.
Absolutely.
And you help out a lot of our members, especially in the Alberta market, because for people from either BC, Ontario, or other provinces, they see the numbers and they're like, oh my God, they're anchored to the higher numbers, and so they see that those numbers cheap, and then all of a sudden maybe it's not the right property for them or what have you. So
for sure.
you definitely know the market, right? And why is it that we need to be looking at Alberta? Why should we look at Alberta?
Well, Alberta, we're just coming out of a recession, actually. We've been in such a low economy period for the past 8 to 10 years that we're going to really take off, actually. This is just the start of it. We're actually coming out of a recession, and we haven't even hit the boom period.
Wow. And you would say it's booming now. But
some people would be. We haven't even hit the boom period.
Wow.
Right? The boom period is going to last another 6-7 years. Alberta's economy does go through cycles, and we're just starting.
Yeah.
Right.
And why did you choose to be a realtor versus a full-time investor?
Right.
What drives you to want to help people?
Yeah, being an investor-focused realtor with multifamily, I get to help people because I know that market. I know what kind of information people are looking for. They want the pro formas, they want, rent comps, they want sales comps. They want that all at once instead of having to go back and ask them all the, can you give me this? Can you give me that? Can you give me this? Well, I can give them all that information at once because as an investor, that's what I would be looking for. I already know what they're looking for. Yeah. And there's not that many actually agents that are actual investors, which is a surprising thing.
So you the one thing I like is that you already know what you're looking for, so you know how to direct someone or guide someone to find what they're looking for. Obviously, within our community, we're looking for, there's very specific metrics and how we look at real estate, period. And so Alberta has that. Alberta has the cash flow. Yeah. And sometimes you might have to create an opportunity, right?
Right, absolutely. You have to create deals. You're not just finding them, but you have to put it together to have the right financing. You have to look at the renovations if there are any. You got to build out how you're going to create that deal for everybody to win. And not every deal is going to be a win.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of creativity associated with that.
Yeah.
And that's actually, I think, one of my strengths is, creating deals, finding a deal, putting it together, figuring out, well, it's going to cost this much. You should be able to refi on this and that, and get your money out, and you'll own a building with no money in. Who doesn't like that?
And what are the up and coming markets in Alberta?
Well, I think Edmonton is a really strong market. There's going to be pressure in Edmonton from buyer competition. That's going to be huge. So that's going to drive prices up, and then also rents are going up. So that's going to drive the NOI and the prices up as well. Okay.
Do you think government is going to get involved? Because right now it's the most landlord friendly province at this moment.
Right.
But we all know government, and if you see what happened in New Brunswick, they're looking at trying to create certain rent controls and not being so much renter friendly, but I mean, kind of being fair or whatever, making sure that someone doesn't come in and jack up the rents.
Right. Well, I think with the current party that's in there, I would say that they're probably not going to implement any kind of rent control type of thing. Like we're in Alberta, we're allowed to increase rents any amount once a year.
Yeah. Well, you guys were NDP before.
Yeah. So at one time. So who knows?
Yeah,
right?
yeah. But I'm saying I could see how because I would think fundamentally the overall ideology of the province is more of a conservative type of ideology. But if you have everybody from all over the country moving there, and now we have, all kinds of people that, maybe a little bit more NDP and the Liberal.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, so it might change the dynamic of the province, and obviously the government, they want to get elected.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that's what ends up happening, where they're kind of you force their hand to be tougher.
Yeah,
which creates this whole other problem in the first place. But do you see that happening, or you don't see it happening?
Right now, I don't anticipate.
Yeah.
Changes like that.
Yeah,
like I think even if the NDP were to get in, it's going to take a while to maybe implement those kind of things.
And what about oil and gas? Like you also have. That's also a factor, right? So if oil and gas gets impacted, then but what I see the difference this time is that there's different kinds of jobs in Alberta.
Yeah, so Alberta's economy has in the past been tied to oil and gas, and it still is going forward.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of other stuff going on. There's hydrogen technologies.
Yeah.
There's a lot of chemical manufacturing.
Yeah.
So like Dow in Fort Saskatchewan.
In restaurant industry.
And AI.
Yeah.
Actually, in Edmonton, the U of A is actually one of the leading research areas for AI.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like, near Edmonton, there's a place called Fort Saskatchewan, and Dow announced a $9 billion project out there. I mean,
crazy.
$9 billion. I mean, that's going to create a lot of jobs. People are going to move here, and that's rents are going to go up and all that good stuff.
It's exciting. I feel the energy in when I go there. I was just in Calgary, came back from Calgary, and the energy is different. It's like everyone is excited. Yeah. There's a boom.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so that's different than a lot of places in the country where, the real estate is not doing so good.
Right.
And, so if people are looking to invest, there is a point where they could miss the train on the Alberta train. You could miss it,
Absolutely. Like, like looking at inventory just in Edmonton last year for multifamilies, like we had twice the inventory last year versus now. So you can see that people have purchased and that there's a lot less inventory. And because of that, prices are going to go up. The sellers want more.
And that's good that you're there.
Yeah, absolutely. Right.
So yeah, and what else? What else do you want to do?
Well,
because you got the real estate side, and then you're in the investing side. So what are some of the plans? What do you got going on?
Well, like I'm still growing our real estate investing portfolio, and I want to grow my real estate agent business as well. Those two things are areas that we're continuing to grow. I guess beyond that, I haven't really thought about it, but right now I'm focused on sort of those two areas.
Beautiful.
Because I don't want to spread myself too thin.
Yeah.
Right.
And I want you to continue having fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's fun coming out to these events, and meeting and talking to you.
Well, I know you're a big part of the community, and you've been there from the very beginning. Like I think maybe below 100 members or something like that.
Something like that. 100 to 200 somewhere in there. Yeah. Yeah. So it's been a while.
You're like, you come with the furniture, is what we're saying. And you've helped out a lot of our members, so thank you for that.
Hey.
And before we wrap things up here, what's a mantra or something you live by, something that inspires you, that you say that gets me going.
Right. What I would say is that, like, just think big. Like, there's a lot of people who might just want to think small because it's comfortable.
Yeah.
But like, thinking big is really getting you out of your comfort zone, and if you want to achieve that, you can achieve anything you want.
I love it. And you know what? That's the whole philosophy of Wealth Genius. That's why, the conference is called Expand, because we believe in expansion, growing, building, creating, and going to the next level. And thinking big doesn't mean that ultimately you're going to do these massive things, but it's going to get you to do things that maybe you weren't going to do before.
Exactly.
And that's a win. Right. Yeah. The end result is not the gift. The gift is the person that you become on the way to achieving the goal.
Yeah, I so much agree with that.
And I've seen you change and transform since I met you. I think we met back in 2017, 2018, around that time. Yeah. And I've just seen you transform, confidence. You look sharp, and you're going places. So congratulations. Thank you for coming on the show. And that's a wrap. Alfonso loves you, and we're going to see you all at the
top.
Let's go. Woo! Yeah. We made that announcement. Someone must have caught it. Someone must have been listening. Where's the next Expand?
Thanks for listening to the Wealth Genius Podcast, presented in part by Expand Investor Conference, this May 16th to 18th in Edmonton, Alberta. Get your tickets now at wealthgenius.ai/expand, and we'll see you at the top.